Lucy Liu's career has spanned more than 30 years, from Broadway to TV to movies, including action-packed films like Charlie's Angels and Kill Bill.
And there's a ton of action in Lucy's new movie. It's called Red One. It's after Santa Claus is kidnapped. Lucy's character, Zoe must find him to save Christmas. Take a look.
Who are you working for?
Lady, I don't know what you're talking about. I work for whoever pays me.
You have about 40 seconds to become helpful before you have a terrible accident. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Who hired you to find him?
Find who?
You know who.
Santa Claus. We know
Boom.
who.
God,
We know who.
Lucy, you're so good.
How are you?
I'm so great. I'm so happy to be here.
We're
Thank
so
you
happy
for
you're
having
here.
me.
We're happy you're here. That must have been fun, though, interrogating Chris Evans. What was that like?
I mean, Chris Evans, one of the sexiest men alive.
Hello.
And then Dwayne Johnson, also one of the sexiest men alive. I'm just sort of like in awe of them. Also, they're big action heroes.
Well, and this is a action-packed Christmas movie.
Yep.
I said earlier, not since Die Hard have we had such a Christmas action-packed film.
You know what? It's got so many elements that are wonderful, and it's so layered, and Chris Morgan does such a great job of sussing these characters out and really creating this mythological world. Hiram Garcia came up with this wonderful, very simple idea that Santa gets kidnapped. There's a ticking clock, and then we have to kind of save Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
There's so many wonderful things about you, and I think about your career. We were reading all the films you've been in, and for, like a lot of actors, yours did not come easy. Like, yours was, you were scraping and struggling to make it. How would you describe your trajectory, your journey?
I mean, it has been a bit of a journey, if I think back on it, now that you ask. There was not a lot of opportunity when I started, but I had so much, you know, chutzpah.
Yeah.
And I was sort of, you know, I just didn't feel like there was a limit. And I think, you know, mentally, that's where it starts. You kind of manifest it from your heart and your mind and your soul. And I just wanted to keep going and just be part of this wonderful world of entertainment. And I found myself, you know, doing things that I would normally not do, which is go into a room and, you know, if they wanted somebody that didn't look like me, just to sort of block that out and just think, you know, it doesn't matter if they're looking for this type. I'm just going to go in there and blast them with something else and see if they're interested.
God, I love that.
You know, you kind of have to do that. You have to break the wall down, but like with your mind.
In your mind.
And you know, I feel like many parents are reluctant when their kids come and say, I'm going to try this, because they just know how hard it is. What were your parents like when you said, but this is my dream?
I think my parents were like, that's good for you, but this is what we want for you.
Right. And what did they want?
I think they wanted security. They wanted, you know, something that they've heard of, that something that was a career that they could check off.
Yes.
Lawyer, you know, banker, doctor, something that's tangible. And I think art is not tangible. And it's hard to say, well, this is where I'm going to be in 5 years or 2 years, or this is how much money I'm going to make. And it's more of a belief system. And I don't think that culturally they really understood that.
I think your life has taken so many great turns. At 47, you decided to become a mom. Some people dream of being a mom when they're little girls. Some people find out later. Some people aren't sure. What was your road to motherhood?
I think that's something that I discovered. Like, it was just something that somebody mentioned to me when I was working, and they said, oh, you're such a nurturing person. You're so caring. And they said, you'd be such a great mother. And I just sort of said, oh, that's so sweet. And then I didn't think about it again. But then it sat with me. And I realized that being a mother or being a caregiver is just kind of thinking outside the box and just there and present. And I thought, I can do that. I can be present. And so that's when I just discovered this is something I'm going to pursue. And it was really not something I thought about my entire life until that moment, if you can believe that.
Isn't that amazing that somebody planted a seed and you realized there was this dream that you didn't even know was in you? How has becoming a mother changed everything for you?
I mean, it's funny because it was never a dream for me. And then when it was mentioned, I started to think about myself in a different way. And that's why, like, words really do matter.
Yes.
And I have been learning. My son is really my teacher. He is my greatest teacher, and I am a student. And I really, everything that you've calcified in your life as a grown-up or as a person going through the experience of life kind of breaks open and starts cracking once you have a child, because you learn, like, these things don't work. you know, when you have a child or when you have a family, you have to kind of change the dimension of how you think and how you feel and how you react. Because, you know, there can be a lot of triggering moments.
Yeah.
And then you discover, wow, you can repair those moments, even if you didn't use your words the best, you know, in that moment. You can say, you know what, I can do better.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing, because it's granting you forgiveness as a human being and as a parent and as somebody who is trying to teach somebody something, and really they're teaching you in turn.
God, and that's so beautiful.
Write a book, please,
Wait, and
something.
I
literally
have to see your
feeling all
art.
the feels.
I have to see your art.
Yeah.
You're also a painter, which I love.
Thank you.
How is
Oh my God.
Well, this is a collage that actually I did with my son, with his art before that, and he allowed me to cut out some of his works and then create this really beautiful collage together. It was like a work that we did together, and it was a portrait of actually my mother in the end. So I've learned a lot, and my art has really changed and transformed. I mean, as we all do, as we live our lives, but it's changed since I've become.
I like how you didn't use your own name, because you wanted people to love your art for the art.
I didn't use my own name originally because I really wanted people to go in with a really open mind and not kind of have this idea of what it should be, because I think oftentimes, you know, God forbid we use, you know, we have different hats that we wear as artists, like as a singer or as an artist or as an actress. They kind of want to keep you in that bottle and that prescription. So, but I realized that I have to really own that and just be, you know, available to whatever criticism or whatever praise there could be. And it really sort of taught me to just be a little bit more open to just expression. It's a form of expression.
Yeah, your art is so beautiful.
You're amazing.
You're so talented. Well, thank you.
Thank
you, Lucy. We do. We want more time with Lucy. They're telling us to wrap, but we don't want to. Red One hits theaters tomorrow.